Hey y'all, it's Angie B here, Angela Beasley. Thank you so much for watching today. Be sure to share this conversation. It's going to be so dope with my creatives on today. Thank you for watching. Welcome to part 2 of the creative process with today's special guest, Brandon B. Mike Butler and Alvin L. Ford Jr. We will continue discussing their creative processes, networking across and up, and putting in the work and what it takes to become great, amongst other things. Let's dive in. Hey y'all, it's Angie B here, Angela Beasley. Thank you so much for watching today. Be sure to share this conversation. It's going to be so dope with my creatives on today. Thank you for watching. Welcome to part 2 of the creative process with today's special guest, Brandon B. Mike Butler and Alvin L. Ford Jr. We will continue discussing their creative processes, networking across and up, and putting in the work and what it takes to become great, amongst other things. Let's dive in. Hey y'all, it's Angie B here, Angela Beasley. Thank you so much for watching today. Be sure to share this conversation. It's going to be so dope with my creatives on today. Thank you for watching. Welcome to part 2 of the creative process with today's special guest, Brandon B. Mike Butler and Alvin L. Ford Jr. We will continue discussing their creative processes, networking across and up, and putting in the work and what it takes to become great, amongst other things. Let's dive in. All right, let's go to the flip side.
All right, so for me, the worst gig I ever been on, I was playing for this artist. I ain't saying no names, but it was a last minute situation, and dude was like, "Man, just flow behind." I'm like, "Cool." So your man's playing the track, I'm playing, and she is singing in the entire. Hey,
That's talking about
so
what gig you talking about.
so hey, so I think this was around Essence time. This was Essence Fest time. I think I don't. I think Teddy Riley had like an after party at the Republic,
Not Teddy Riley.
and so he had like a bunch of he had like a bunch of artists
Okay.
come and sing, bless the stage, whatever, sing your original music. So there was this one artist, he or she got up there. It was embarrassing to especially to me. And so I don't know if you ever been to Republic.
No.
You ever been to Republic?
I have.
Yeah. So the way the Republic stage is only one way up,
Yeah.
and the other side is like VIP section. The other side of the stage is like VIP section where they got all the sofas and it's all gated off.
Yeah.
So I remember after I hit the very last note, I walked and jumped in the VIP section and ran out the club. So L called me like, "B, where you at?" I'm like, "Son, I'm on the gym." They say, "Damn, what happened?" I checked out that thing, man. The most embarrassing. I ain't even want to talk to the musicians. I ain't want to talk to nobody. I got up out there. I don't want nobody. Who that was on the keyboard?
Right.
Nobody.
But you don't think they would have understood that it wasn't?
Nah.
It
Because these days,
don't work like that.
Oh my God, that's
had to be the worst gig I ever been on.
L. What's your story?
No, I have one actually a last minute call with the same artist he's talking about. So I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm gonna go a different route. So this same Essence Fest time,
Oh God.
we were playing, and we always do this. We always do the Sunday gospel taping thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular year, DJ wasn't with us. DJ was playing in the Superdome with somebody, and I don't want to be specific about the year, but they was honoring somebody, and we knew the honoree son. Like we know the honoree son very well, a very well known producer, musician, and all this stuff. So we were, kicking it with him like the night before at this event, and then he was kind of going around telling everybody like, "Oh, yo, these the homies that do the gospel joint every year. They be killing like everybody."
Oh, I know what you about to say. Like, I had to catch it.
They be killing. Y'all got to come check it out. And so that Sunday came around, and it was a complete catastrophe. Like every song that we were playing, the person who was filling in for DJ was MD in this specific year. I don't know why, but he was. And all the tracks was out of tune. Like, like he didn't know the parts. Like, so normally when Essence
Hey, dog, you remember that Travis Green? It's the wrong key. Yo, we about to play for Travis Green, and that dude hit spacebar, and that dude Travis Green singer turn around.
She had perfect pitch.
She had perfect pitch, and she looked. She was like, "That's the wrong key."
But normally when it's over, we talk to all the people, all the workers, the lady who put on the show, all the people from the TV, the film. We talk to everybody, the artists, because it's always a good time. It's always like a really good show. It's really killing. Everything was together. So it's usually a moment afterwards where everyone start networking and exchanging info. Like, oh, let's work together again. This was amazing, blah, blah, blah. That particular year, as soon as we played the last note, I hopped off the back of the stage and walked off.
I don't think the band left. The band never left this quick.
And if you ever go to the convention center, you know you can walk in through the front. But if you drive all the way back like you're going to Mighty God World, there's a back area behind it. I walked out the back and walked all the way around to the end, back to about Mighty God World to go walk around and get to my car, so I didn't have to see nobody.
Dang.
That was probably the most embarrassing situation I've ever been a part of, you know, as a professional, at least as a, you know, as an adult musician. We was youngins, but as an adult, like that was a little kid era.
Yeah.
That happened. Like that's the kind of things we was doing when we first started playing with like Kim Cherie and all of them.
Right.
Like, you know, like trying to run tracks and you pressing. I remember one time being with B and just the first time we was trying to transition from laptops. I mean, from MPCs to laptops. And that boy B was running the loop in church and hit the space bar to stop it, and it kept playing.
It kept playing.
And then he closed the computer.
I closed the computer. That boy was still playing. I had a PC. My little compact. You remember that?
Yeah, now that was probably my most embarrassing situation as an adult, as a musician. Like I never forgot that moment.
But I respect y'all because y'all take y'all craft so seriously, and that's why you are on the level you're at. And I remember B used to always say, like, one thing I admire about B, he's so stickler. He's so stickler. Like, he's stickler, but it shows in his craft. Both. But
right.
He always talk about 10,000 hours, right?
Yeah.
Always talk about 10,000 hours, and that makes you a master. So, like, B touched down on that concept.
What, just being strict?
No, like grinding at your craft.
Oh my.
And the 10,000 hour concept we used to always talk about.
I don't know. I just crave perfection. I always want everything to be right. Like, I try to pull the best out of the people that can't do it. I just like perfection. Just everything on time. Everybody know their parts. But yeah, the thing with me, I just like everything to be perfect. I just like to give my best on everything. Like, somebody told me a long time ago, like, yeah, we get paid a lot, but if you accept the gig and it's for the free, you still play that gig like, you know what I mean? Like, you getting $1 million.
Right.
And you still give your all. And I just always use that, you know what I mean? Just, it gotta be perfect. No matter if it's for $100, for $25, for $750, for $1,000, I'm gonna still give it my all.
I love that. Y'all, how have y'all been staying sane during this pandemic?
No, just living in the studio, being creative. You know what I mean? That's all you can do. We've been going really hard on working on a bunch of records since probably like last June. You know, I ain't gonna lie, like the beginning of the pandemic, I didn't do anything. I wasn't being creative. I wasn't inspired, to be completely honest. You know what I mean? I didn't have any inspiration.
Every day.
Right. I didn't have any inspiration to create anything. And probably around June is when everything kind of kicked up. Like me, B, my partner John Michael, all of us started getting up and just been working on a bunch of records. So there's a lot of records. I don't get into, you know, what on here, but a lot of records and dope records coming out that we did. You know what I mean? So just with the pandemic, just staying creative. Like, trust me, I can't wait for outside to open up to be able to start playing again. You know what I mean? Playing live, but you know, taking it day by day. I know for me, I've been taking advantage of just being home and spending time with all my family and my friends and my kids.
Yeah, because you're usually gone like all the time.
Yeah, this is by far the longest time
Yeah.
I've ever been home with my kids since they've been born. You know what I mean? And they're 8 and 9. So, if you'd have told me 2 years ago, 2019, like you'd be home for a year, I probably would have laughed at you. Like, yeah, right, an entire year home. But, it's a situation we're in right now. So for me, I'm just taking advantage of that time I get to see all my homies and see my family. Because now I'm viewing, seeing what's most important. You know what I mean? Like before, I mean, of course, everything and everybody was important before, but it's like I was such in go mode, like nonstop. Like, oh, Amsterdam today, oh, Berlin tomorrow, L.A., New York,
It's crazy.
China. Just going, and kind of like how you saying, just in grind mode because it took so long to get to this point. Like, a lot of people see this phase of life and music and what we doing. Like, oh, y'all making records and y'all touring and on tour buses and stuff like that. But it was a long time before we got to this part. You know
Speak
what
on
I mean?
that.
Like
Yes.
you talking about grinding and yeah, I spend so much time sitting down, like just practicing, with absolutely not a gig in sight coming to me. You know what I mean? And to get to my final goal was at one point was just to get a gig, then to get gigs, then to tour, then to play on record. You know what I mean? And the goal constantly changes once you start, reaching certain things. You know what I mean? But that grinding out these situations, like it's a real thing. I think a lot of people, it's hard, it's tough in these days because people with social media, you just see all the glitz and glamours of everything. So nobody ever posts, the time when they didn't
Yeah.
have gigs. You know what I mean? Nobody ever posts the time where they wasn't the first call or they wasn't this. You know what I mean? Like people never talk about those moments, but that time was real. You know what I mean? Like we can honestly say when people be like, "Yo, how did y'all start playing together and why y'all play together so much now and not with other people all the time?" It's like, well, we were broke together. You know what I mean? Like we made no money together. We had no
Right.
calls together. You know what I mean? We had all those
Cards
things.
got
So
denied together.
yeah, exactly. We ain't saying no names.
They saying her name. No, I'm gonna say her name since the nigga can't come. You supposed to be on this day.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
hey. So when we was young, so once we started having little church gigs, I think Al was playing that. You wasn't that great yet, huh?
I wasn't there. I might just been at Beacon Light, maybe.
Okay, well, whatever. We was making a little money. So we was staying with our parents. We wasn't, we had no bills like that. We had no bills. So we used to go eat at Houston's, you know what I mean? We go to Zia's like every other day.
Wow.
And we used to have like a little circle. It's Al turn, DJ turn, my turn. So this one particular time, it was DJ turn. We was at Houston's on Veterans. They turned at the Boulevard.
Okay.
Yeah. So we sitting there chilling. DJ's like, yeah, man, I got the bill. We're like, cool, for sure. We chilling and talking. DJ handed the lady a thing, his card. He come back. Lady was like, sir. Sir, your card was declined. Yeah, well, that was a little funny moment.
Good time.
Yeah,
And now my son got more money than everybody. My son got
Right.
a million houses out here now.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like,
building houses and got
Yeah.
property.
DJ, we
Crazy.
miss you. You were supposed to be on today, but it's
Yeah.
all good. So wait, y'all. I'm digging this conversation. It's so vibey.
Yeah.
The last thing I'm gonna touch down on, because I don't want to stay on too long, is the tour I did with y'all. Like that thing was so fun, and y'all took care of me. Y'all took care of mother. I don't know how to get that.
Mother was out on the road.
Showing up on the road.
Right.
No, but that was just it was fun. It was challenging. It pushed me, but it was a good time, and it's something I'll never forget. I thought I wanted to continue on doing like that road life, but I was like, nah.
Man.
I thank y'all for pulling me
Jesus
on.
ain't no nobody.
But I thank y'all for pulling me on. I thank Reg. I thank my MD Alvin. I thank B Mike who was doing his thing. But for me, it was just really dope to see y'all in that element. Like,
Yeah, what's them lights come on?
it was
Yeah, it's a different
making
thing.
magic. Like, y'all lived with make the tracks. Like, go in the room, make the tracks, get the tracks together, renting out. Well, I had to rent out space where y'all just made the magic happen. It was just so dope being in the room and just seeing y'all's creative process. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah,
see from there to at nighttime on stage, that was just it was everything.
Goes back to what I was saying from the beginning, just passion. You know what I mean? Just wanting things to be right. You know what I mean? Just we both love what we do. You know what I mean? That's why me and this dude right here, bro. We just like click tight. You know what I mean?
I love that.
He just as passionate as I am.
no,
Yeah.
that's a fact. I definitely gotta give a shout out to my man DJ again. My man Reggie.
Yeah,
Reggie
DJ
Nick.
Reggie.
That's like
My brother.
that's kind of that's our squad from way back when. You know what I mean? I always tell people even with Reggie. You know what I mean? We always be over on the West Bank on Cook Street. You know what I mean? Working on working on records in the guest room in his house. You know what I mean? And now fast forward years, Grammy nominations and
Yep.
up for another Grammy. I signed up for another Grammy right
Yep.
now. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. We got like a little core, four of us that and shout out to my man Ishmael too. Ishmael's around the block with us too.
He's a part of my creative gang too. So.
Yeah, you know what I mean. We always trying to figure this thing out together. You know what I mean. So people, even with Ish, people see Ish and see how popping he got great amount Calvary. But you know what I mean. He came a long way figuring that stuff out. You know what I mean. Like it took time. Everybody think it's just right now. You just turn on your phone and go live and think it's a now situation. Now you've been figuring that out for a long time. Before you
I can
got
see
to this
it's not
part.
about the Alvin Ford saying my name.
Exactly. It's another one. You know what I mean? Like I go way back. I knew Ishmael when him and his brother was playing drums. You know what I mean? Way back in the G, my daddy and his dad and his daddy and his uncle used to play together, the twins. We go way back. Just like my pops and Reggie daddy. You know what I mean? Go way, but it's like all these people I've been knowing all these dudes for years. So
and I was stuck in Shrewsbury. I ain't know nobody.
He's talking about Shrewsbury.
All I knew was my Uncle Melvin. My Uncle Melvin took me to Ebenezer. Funny story about it. Funny story about Ebenezer. My first time ever going to Ebenezer, I went at 7:00. Man, they played from like 7 all the way to like 11:30. Like, damn, y'all got it in, boy. I really enjoyed myself. He said, all right, we got one more. We got midnight service. I said, oh, that mercy.
He was a little extra mile member that day.
Oh my goodness. No, but thank y'all so much for being on. Like I feel like I would love to talk forever and ever in a day, but I want y'all to the theme of this whole show today was networking across and up, and then also the grind. It's really like not a microwave mentality when you want to be successful at anything, not just music, not just the 10,000 hours or perfecting the craft. And I appreciate you talking about that, Brandon, but I want y'all to just encourage someone who's watching on today who may even look up to you, bro, and they may aspire to be like you one day, or just talk about the process of trusting the process and being faithful and patient, or whatever comes to your heart. Let's start off with D.
Yeah, just continue to grind. Just practice. Don't be afraid to fail. We failed multiple times, but we didn't let that beat us up. You know what I mean? We had people that used to tell us we were sad.
Wow.
We used to hear the rumors on the street like, you know what I mean? We think we all that. We don't let that stuff phase us. Just keep pushing, keep learning your craft, and just keep going. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's all I can really say. Yeah, just keep pushing.
I think for me, I mean, if what I say to any young creative, in general, I'm not going to talk about just a drummer, but just creative, and whatever you do, if you coming up and you want to be an artist and whatever right that is, I say find somebody who's doing what you want to do and study them.
Yeah,
You
that
study
too.
study their moves. You know what I mean? Like for me, um, I knew that I didn't just want to play at church coming up. You know what I mean? Like I loved it. I still do. I haven't been a drummer for church in a long time, years. But man, I miss it every day. Like Bia tell you, I went play with them for like a whole month just to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me, it was more so like I wanted to travel the world. Like I wanted to have drum endorsements. I wanted to get on records. I wanted to play in all these different genres. And the thing that worked for me was I found two drummers, Terrence Higgins and Stanton Moore. One who was a player who was getting all the calls from all these different genres of music as a player, and one who was like just a face in the drum industry, a huge face. And they were like my role models. You know what I mean? Like I studied everything that I went to all the gigs, I went to all the rehearsals. You know what I mean? I was helping them set up all the drums just to be around them and talk to them and pick their brains and ask a million questions. I called them nonstop. I blew up it was plenty of times I called, text, they didn't answer the phone. I still called again and sent
Yep.
more texts. You know what I mean? Like you can, I think, as a young creative, if you're trying to come up and you're trying to get to a certain level, you can't have pride at all. Like
Mm.
if you have pride, you lost already. You know what I mean? You can't have any pride. You have to really be willing to ask questions and be willing to take the criticism that come with it. Like some people are gonna give you an honest answer. You ask, how does this sound? How does this painting look? What do you think about this shoe? What do you think about this idea? You know what I mean? You gotta be willing to accept that. You know what I mean? Ask questions. Ask a shit ton. I mean, a lot of questions. I forgot this guy's.
Right, and see, I think that was the thing for us when we was coming up. We didn't. Well, I say for me, because it's been moments that I used to, kind of like shadow people, especially on organ. And when they got up, they used to push their draw balls up so we couldn't see. So
Right.
yeah, the older cats used to be mean. No lie.
Yeah, it was different.
It was different for us, especially for my
Yeah,
generation. Like it was different.
that's a
So
fact. But I think
I would say
even with
just
all
seek
that,
mentorship. Like
yeah,
I
that's
know
a
me
real
and
thing.
Al, you could call our phone any day. I used to have, you could ask Mike, Dominic, when I had my apartment in Gentilly, them boys just come to my house 3 o'clock in the morning. I used to be sleeping. They used to be practicing on my piano. Like I don't mind, you know what I mean? I don't mind sharing information at all.
Yeah,
So definitely seek mentorship. Definitely get that person that you admire and you stay on them.
right. I mean, it's a real thing. Like I always say, people, if you putting in the work, people gonna find you. You don't have to go. You have to go crazy. Come to you. Like I made a post not that long ago when I was saying, yo, we was all trying to figure out how to get these situations and all stuff like that, not realizing that it was just putting in the work. We putting the work, and then all the stuff that you want to do, traveling the world, getting artists calling you, playing on big records, Grammy records, all stuff like that. That stuff come find you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like you can't cheat the grind in any form. It don't matter what you do. You
that's
can't
good.
you can't cheat the grind at all. And it's known. It's known when you putting in work. It can tell. You know what I mean? Everybody see it. Everybody. You don't have to speak on it. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm grinding. I'm shitting. Or I'm practicing. You don't have to say it. Like it's very obvious the ones who putting in the work and the ones who not putting in the work. You know what I mean? And once you put in the work, all that stuff come to you. Again, I just think that most people, if you really trying to get to a certain level and you have a connection or somebody know, I mean, get somebody to connect you with them. You know what I mean? Reach out to people, ask questions, because that pride will kill you.
It's a killer.
It's a killer for sure. I know. I had it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all, thank y'all so much.
No
I mean,
problem.
Y'all, I always say this, but y'all really dropped gems today. And it was just a good conversation, like free flowing. I really appreciate y'all being on today. I thank y'all for, I just want to affirm y'all. Y'all are some dope creatives. I can't wait till outside opens up for real again so y'all could go and play and just be
Crazy.
who you are. Amazing.
Oh, all right.
Out there.
Mother love y'all. Mother
Mother,
loves you.
mother, you all right, mother. Mother got a
You
little,
all right,
mother
man.
got a little show.
And shout out to Angie, man, for the
Right,
show, the creative process.
right. You got
Thank you.
mother. You got a little offering music for the intro and outro of this thing. Right. You need a little offering music happening on her.
Oh my God. Well, y'all, thank y'all again for being on. I know y'all enjoyed today. I have their slide up right now. I want you to go and follow them. Stay connected. They have so many great things. I mean, quickly. Tell them what you do. You do music, you produce now. Tell them about that quick.
I'm just a keyboard player that produces.
Hey, man.
B is a producer, bro. And he's dope.
Yeah.
And L, you do the producing as well, right?
Hey, man. You know, God just has His hand on my life. You know, I'm just here. I'm just here trying to spread the good
We're
news.
giving
That's
honor
about
to
it.
God.
I'm just spreading the good news, Angie. All through all genres of music. There has to be one to be able to minister to all the people
To
on the
all
outside of the
nations.
church. And he's using me at this moment right now. So
Well, amen, Bishop.
thank you.
Well, okay, y'all. I enjoyed this talk. And until next time, see y'all later. Bye.
Peace.
Peace.